First things, what we're going to do is have our feet shoulder width apart or maybe hip width apart and the toes pointed directly forward like train tracks, okay? From here, we're going to push the bum back, hinge over, then bend the knees, and then from here you can grip the bar. I'm gripping just outside my legs, here, just outside the knurling. From here, what I'm going to do is bring the barbell towards me. Now it's directly underneath my shoelaces. The weight of my body is dispersed along the whole of my foot. From here, I'm going to drop the bum, straighten the lower and mid back, and take the slack out of the bar. The final thing I'll do is pack the lats, take the slack out of the bar once more, and press the floor away from me. That's the deadlift part. Now we're in position. From here, I'm going to have a soft bend in my knees and then push the hips back while hinging over, keeping my lower back as straight as I possibly can. I'm also keeping my lats engaged, and how I'm doing that is I am letting the barbell roll down my quads and down my shins. From about this point where I get a stretch in my glutes and my hamstrings, I'm going to stand back up and push my hips through until I'm standing tall again. Here's a side view of me getting in position. I'm going to hinge over, grab the barbell, then drop the hips, straighten up the back, take the slack out of the bar while also retracting my scapula and packing my lats, which is bringing my shoulder blades back and down. From here, the slack is now out of the bar, and then I stand up like so. From this position, I can push the bum back, keep my back as straight as I can, get a stretch and stand back up. The depth you go during the RDL will depend on your hip mobility and hamstring flexibility. In order to get the stretch earlier, what you can do is bring your shoulder blades back and down. That means when you push your hips back, you might get a stretch much earlier, like around here. When you're starting to practice this movement, there's no problem in only hinging down to about knee height and then standing back up. And then over time, you can get further and further range of motion until you can find a comfortable spot, maybe at the mid shin height, in order for you to perform your reps down to. Once you've completed your set, push the hips back one more, have the soft bend the knees, and then once the barbell has passed your knees, bend the knees fully in order to drop the barbell onto the ground. And you've done your deadlift. In order to have proper intra-abdominal pressure, I should allow only one breath per rep. I'll show you now. Just like so. Inhale, brace, lower, keep holding the breath, push up fast, and exhale. The biggest risk during the barbell RDL is rounding your lower back. So make sure when you're grabbing the barbell, you do drop the hips, pack the lats, and push the ground away from you while keeping everything as tight as possible. You're more than welcome to use a lifting belt in order to help yourself get intra-abdominal pressure, although it's not necessary. I would certainly recommend considering chalk or grip straps if you are progressing in weight and your grip starts to give out. Before investing in grip straps or chalk, there's one more thing you can do. Instead of having double overhand, you can have one hand over and one hand under. What I'd recommend is if you are doing this, in between each set switch, the dumbbell RDL should be loaded quite heavy over time, but at the beginning start with something light and then progressively overload throughout the weeks ahead. At first, when you're only getting the hang of the barbell RDL, you can situate the J hooks at this height for you to take the barbell off of the rack, and this will remove the deadlift portion of the movement. So what you do is you'd grab at the same position, you'd stand up, take a half a step back, and then from here, you would be able to perform your Romanian deadlift without having to do the deadlift at the beginning to get in position. Once you finish your reps, take a few steps forward and then drop the barbell back on the rack. If you want to perform a slightly more glute dominant RDL, allow your glutes to take the weight more when performing the movement. You do this by having a slightly larger bend in the knees while you're pushing the bum back. It's worth noting that this might put a lot more tension on the lower back, so please be wary when using this variation. This last part, I don't think I'm going to be able to emphasize enough, and that is activating your lats in order to get the barbell to roll down your thighs during the movement. So this muscle right here is your lats, and that's it, activating like so. So as soon as I grab the barbell, I am dropping the hips and activating the lats like so, taking the slack out of the bar. My lats will be activated during the full movement. From here, my lats are still activated while the barbell tracks all the way down my quads and also my shins, still activated lats, and then I'm popping back up. If you're still having lower back issues, one more time, knees more straight, hips go back more, and also don't go as low as you thought you should. That's the end of the video for the Barbell RDL. Like and sub if you want me to give you more free information.